Welcome to the Wednesday, July 10th, 2024 Planning Board meeting for the town of Raymond. The Planning Board will come to order. The board does have a quorum, and we'll start with roll call. Down with you, Steve.
Stephen Clark.
Mike Richmond. Greg Foster.
Robert O'Neill.
Ed Kranich.
Mark Childs.
And
Evan Woodbury.
This is a public meeting, it's a public proceeding, and unless the board specifically votes to go into executive session, you have the right to hear everything that is being said and to look at all the exhibits that are presented. Please notify the chair if you are unable to see or hear. The board works from a published agenda. We'll be considering tonight's items in the following order. We have an election for chair and vice chair. We have approval of minutes for the June 12th, 2024 meeting. For old business, we have a public hearing site plan review for the road construction permit for Nicholas Cummins. We have an amended subdivision for a changing the waiver requirement for underground power. And then we have a new business. We have a site plan review and public hearing for the town of Raymond's Parks and Recreation's development of pickleball and tennis courts, followed by staff communications and adjournment. In each instance, the burden is upon the applicant to demonstrate compliance with the provisions of the applicable ordinance or state law. All persons speaking, including representatives of the applicant and members of the public, are asked to stand at the microphone, state their name, address, and affiliation with the application. All persons speaking shall address the chair. Any conversations must be held in abeyance until after the board has formally adjourned. After the board votes on the merits of each application, it will prepare a written notice of decision because the notice of decision may substantially affect any appeals rights. And also, as a matter of courtesy, the board asks that those attending the meeting with regard to a specific application not leave until the board has completed its discussion. Appeals from adverse decisions must be filed with the Superior Court or as otherwise provided by law within 45 days of this board's decision. Okay. First order of business, election of the chair and the vice chair for our fiscal year 2024.
I nominate for chair Bob O'Neill, for vice chair Edward Kranich.
You accept?
Yes.
Accept? Any discussion? Oh, you snuck in there, Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Kevin goes yes. Number one done. Number two, approval of minutes of the June 12th, 2024. Are there any changes or deletions?
Move that we accept the minutes from June 12th, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Kevin? Passed. All right, first up then is on the old business, the Nicholas Cummins road construction permit. This is the one, just as a reminder, the one that we approved and then unapproved because we had not had the public hearing. So the first thing I will do is open the public hearing on this particular project. Public hearing is open. Does anybody want to speak specifically towards this project? Public hearing closed. Jim, I saw a message from Dustin that kind of cleared up a lot of what was on.
Yeah, we received some documents today, some plans, some changes that we requested. The only thing...
The HOA?
The HOA, correct, which he would be willing to make part of the condition of approval.
Sounds good.
I think they touched on everything else. The only other item I had, there was one more. I did want to see the surface grading on the plans prior to construction. He gave us the profile, but I didn't see the surface grading, but we can just make that a condition of approval as well.
Jim, can you move that microphone closer?
Or a different angle.
One of them? Thanks.
Stereo now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, does anyone have any questions on this one? Discussion? So, since I did the original motion, I think I'll move that we approve the application for the road construction permit for Nicholas Cummings with the conditions that the HOA has to be accepted and approved by the town and surface grading be delineated. You want that on the plans?
On a construction set, yeah.
On the construction set? Is there a second?
I second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Done. You're all set. While we're on Dustin's projects, he also sent a note about the Alfred Mann Drive extension to be tabled. Why don't we just do that right now while we're on here? Is there, anyone have any? It's not on the agenda.
You wanted to, he requested it?
He requested it be tabled. You want to make that motion?
Yeah, I move that we table the reference application.
So the motion is to table the Alfred Mann Drive extension application. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Greg. Any discussion? Is it like a tabled indefinitely, or do our tables expire?
I guess you would just table it indefinitely, again, until legally it could expire, but you just table it indefinitely till the applicant's ready to come back with something at this point. In his court.
Okay,
After a year, we usually start over.
all right. Okay, any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Give an aye. All right, so the application is tabled. All right, next up is the waiver requirement for the underground power overhead lines. I guess we should do a little bit of an intro on this one, but I think we got everything we needed in the last one, right, Jim?
Yeah, I think the only change would be is that, do you have that article? The article section that we're actually referring to, we kind of, maybe we misled Derek a little bit here on this one, but it doesn't really change anything. The article that we had given him prior was for the site plan. The actual article is Article 9, Section 10, subsection B out of the subdivision ordinance, because we're amending a subdivision, not a site plan.
I think that's what he has, isn't it? Standard of section subdivision ordinance, Article 9,
Oh, he is, yep.
number 10B.
Yep, he corrected it, sorry.
He's all set.
Yep.
And I think the other thing that we were discussing was the placement of the poles, and that's been supplied, is that? Okay. I guess you open, I'll open the public hearing on the waiver for the underground power headlines. Does anybody want to speak? Public hearing closed. I think we went through all this last time. Do we want, anybody on the board want to have questions remaining?
Everything seemed good?
Yeah, everything went.
The only question would be is that we will prepare a findings of fact, and then I guess it'll have to be kind of an affidavit, because it didn't technically amend the physical plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to do it in a document, which will have to be recorded. So we'll prepare a findings of fact document that'll have to be recorded.
Okay, and then,
And then it gets attached to the recorded deed and plan.
and Derek records, or
Derek records, yes.
Derek, where are you? You okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, we have a motion.
I motion to approve.
Motion is to approve the waiver requirement for the underground power overhead lines. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded.
Question, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, Wayne. Wayne, you had,
He's froze up.
No, he's blinking.
No,
You just can't hear.
Wayne?
Yes. Can you hear me? You're all frozen up.
You're back.
We hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we discussed last month that the underground power would still be run to the houses, so we wouldn't have the obstruction at the building with power lines. Is that still correct?
That is still
That
correct.
is still correct. We're just running the overhead through the primary up the side of the road.
And that will be in the findings of fact, right, Jim?
Yeah, we'll provide that in the findings.
Awesome. Then, thank you.
And that line doesn't go by any lots. Oh, it does go by 3 lots.
Yeah, I've got.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Mr. Chairman, do you need me to follow that up with a quick memo?
No,
I don't think
I
so,
don't think
Wayne.
so,
I think we
Wayne.
can handle that one. It's just a waiver, so I think we can handle that with some verbiage.
Wayne, I'll put it in the minutes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
any other questions, discussion? Do we make them? We all set? All those in favor?
Aye.
Kevin, aye? Done. Derek, you'll get with Jim or the town? Okay. All right, to the new business, site plan review for the pickleball. It would probably be to put it there. We're going to get Will to introduce it first, and then we'll go to you.
And where do I go over to the microphone?
You go over to the microphone, or you can, if you like to wander, you could pick the microphone up and wander around with it.
No, I don't make me feel like Mariah Carey.
Okay, Will, you're up.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Will Haskell with Goral Palmer, acting as planner or peer reviewer on this project. So new pickleball courts, tennis courts for down at Cherry Gagnon Memorial Park. We had done an initial review and submitted a memo back on June 4th. The application was withdrawn or postponed till tonight's meeting. We submitted a new memo on July 2nd. And the new memo also incorporates the response to comments that we received on our June 4th memo. So everything's pretty straightforward, I think, on this. Basically proposing to build new tennis courts and a pickleball courts at the park and the existing baseball field. My understanding is the existing baseball field will be essentially demolished and turned into grass. And the big change from the original application that we saw is the addition of lights. So they added some light poles. Get into that in a minute. But Mr. Chairman, would you like me to go down through all my items, or how would you like me to proceed in terms of the
Only
review
the
of
ones
this?
that you feel are still outstanding, Will.
Okay. Really relatively minimal outstanding items. We had an initial comment on surface water drainage. The engineer responded back, and we concur with their response that phosphorus control plan's not required. So I think the biggest item is the exterior, the lighting. They're proposing to construct 60-foot tall light poles. Our understanding from the ordinance is that there's a 25-foot maximum height in the ordinance. So I think there would need to be a waiver for the larger light poles. So really, that's the big item I think that's on the table here tonight is the lighting for these tennis courts and pickleball courts. Everything else seems to be in line and essentially in line with the ordinance requirements.
Okay, thanks, Will. The applicant then?
Hi, I'm Margot Barajas. I'm a landscape architect from Sebago Technics, and I'm here representing the applicant, the town of Raymond Parks and Recreation. I'm joined in the crowd by Joe Crocker, the director of Parks and Recreation, and Nathan White, Public Works Director. So, as you heard, we're proposing tennis and pickleball courts at the town-owned Sherry Gannon Memorial Park. The site's located in the Village Residential District. It doesn't have any shoreland or overlay districts. The proposed courts are an addition or improvement to the existing park, which is a public facility, which is a permitted use in the Village Residential District. The courts are going to be located southwest of the existing basketball courts at the park, within the outfield of the existing ball field. Access to this is a little awkward. Is this the one that I pick up?
That's the one.
Hello? Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
So you did want to wander around. Say that?
I do need to point to the map, yeah. Sorry, I don't know where to stand here. The courts will be located just southwest of the existing basketball courts. Can you hear me online okay?
Try now.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, there we go. So the existing conditions outside of the proposed path and the courts will all remain the same. There's no trees being removed. The ball field in any disturbed area will be loamed and seeded. We initially submitted this application for staff review, but due to the extent of impervious surface, it was decided that it should come to the planning board. Pickleball is very popular locally. We got a letter of support from Brenda Olson, who's the coordinator of the Raymond Rec League of Pickleball. And Brenda says, many more people want to learn to play, but we do not offer beginner programs in the summer. Adding the tennis pickleball court to Raymond would really expand the resources at the division. Currently, pickleball is played on the basketball.
Bill, we still can't hear that mic very well.
Sorry.
I think so. It got turned off. I'm going to think he's under the mic.
Do I have to do something?
No.
Okay. All right. Hello?
Yeah, she was turned it off.
Maybe I just need to hold it like right here. I need one other arm. So the tennis courts are 78 by 36, and the pickleball courts are 44 by 20. The total court area is about 18,000 square feet, and the total impervious area is about 19,500. We're not proposing any improvements to the existing parking area. Or any additional entrances or anything. It's strictly in this existing ball field, in the outfield.
Excuse me, you do need to speak into the mic.
Sorry, I'm sorry. The proposed path will be ADA accessible. And courts are going to be elevated above the current grade about 2 feet. The drainage out there currently is wet, so we're proposing elevating the whole area to help with the drainage. We are requesting a waiver for the light poles. We're proposing 4 60-foot-high light poles. And as mentioned, the ordinance currently maxes out at 25-foot light poles. The higher light poles in this instance reduce the glare for court sports for people playing tennis and pickleball here. Also, less poles overall will be needed. If we were to use shorter poles, we would need several more, which would cost a lot more money. And the pole height also helps with spillover and light pollution. We submitted a photometrics plan that shows currently all the light will be contained within the property lines. And also those lights will be on a push-to-use operation, so they won't be on all the time. If someone comes to play at night, they can physically turn them on, and I think they'll be operating until about 9 p.m. And they're modern LED, state-of-the-art technology lights. They can be operated from an app that Joe can have control over. So it's a very modern system.
So we can turn them on from home?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
I believe that's all for now. We're hoping to get approval tonight for the project. And the waiver for the lighting is the one request.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Is there any questions before I open the public hearing?
Uh-oh.
Oh, they'll be back.
Oh, and Sorry, there's another side to this too. It just zooms in a little. If that's helpful at all for you. And the tennis courts can be converted to be used for pickleball also. So that's what you can have, up to 10 pickleball courts.
Robert, I'm working on the Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna go back to my.
Yep. Does the ball field go away? Is that the, in this process?
That ball field, which is not being used at the, is not.
Is that used? Do they use this field out here?
They use it more so for this field, but yeah, the Babe Ruth League is gone.
There's 2 fields.
Yeah, there's 2 fields.
Take 'em
Yep.
down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all the softball field.
Yep, the back field. I believe, yep, that's the back fields. Where it's going to be.
Just wait a little bit till we get zoomed back.
Robert, I'm going to be another minute getting Zoom up.
Okay, you still have us in here though, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so are there any questions then before I open the public hearing? I'll wait till the public hearing until we get zoomed back. Mike, something?
I do, but I'd like to wait till the public hearing.
You want to wait? Okay.
Zoom went boom.
That's why I pulled this. I wanted to see. This Bowles neighbors were.
Yeah, I did too. This is bad.
Less glare, that's a good thing.
Wayne, what do you think about that? Is there anything you'd have a concern?
Yeah, they were passing it out earlier.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we're going.
Corner.
Are we all back, Bill?
Believe we are.
We can hear you now.
You get, okay.
We don't have visual though.
Nope. All right, I am going to open the public hearing on the Park and Recreation Department's application for tennis courts and pickleball courts. Is there anyone that would like to speak?
Yes, Derek Ray, 15 Ball Drive. Just have a quick question. Since you guys are discussing lights and whatnot, there's a ball field that they're not touching that's literally right there that has poles already set in place, and I was wondering if there was a way to maybe tie into those to add lights to the field while we're already there. Putting in the lights and constructing of that, it would probably be cheaper to get that in now. I know it's not, you guys aren't part of finance or anything, but I was just bringing that part up to maybe get the ball rolling on seeing if that's a possibility. And if you are voting on the pole heights, it's a good time to maybe do it now as well, if that is a possibility.
Okay, that's kind of not us, but.
I know.
Is there anyone else? All right, and from Zoom, no one. Close the public hearing. And questions from the board?
Yeah, I do have, I guess, one question. I hope it's not too late in the process for it. I can understand the rotation that is in the design. I get that. I like that. But it does seem like it might block off future use of the rest of the property. So is there any consideration about, excuse me, plans after this, or possibly rotating it so it's more orthogonal to the property line and the basketball court, just so if that day comes down the road, more of the site is available for future use?
Do you want to talk to that? Yeah, go ahead.
Joe Crocker, Parks and Rec. Yeah, that was the original design, was we're going to try to line it up along with the basketball court. One of the issues is the position of the sun. So when you're playing, it's not in a good position of the sun, so that's why we angled it that way, so it'll always kind of be overhead. So that's the reason for that positioning.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm good. You know that anyway.
Okay, the first order of business would be discussion on the waiver. Where'd you go? I really like the footprint that you showed far as the light disbursement.
Oh, the diagram there?
Yeah, the diagram.
Yeah. Helpful, yeah.
That, in fact, I'm wondering, I was talking to Ed about this, if we wanted to kind of use that as a, kind of as a change to our lighting. The lighting is always an issue.
Right.
And it's always a bleed over issue. And it may very well be that we can approve higher lights, which is going to give us less
We could
light
look at,
bleed.
we could look at the future ordinances and just put it so that there's a foot candle limitation at the property line.
Yeah.
And give the board some authority to the height. I mean, I don't think we want a 100-foot
No,
pole.
but, right, but I think that would...
Turnpike, but I think, in some cases...
It makes sense.
It makes sense, but most of these occur in residential neighborhoods.
Right.
So...
Yeah, you wouldn't want to really...
wouldn't want the height, you know. So,
Right.
I mean,
Good point.
I understand what you're saying, and I think we can make some changes to the ordinance that, based on footprint at the property line, and give the board some authority on the height, if it's fully shielded and does not disperse over the property line.
Yeah, and it's...
Here, you want a bigger dome of light. Usually, when there's residential neighborhoods, we're trying to limit that glare.
Right, but we're also trying to limit the dispersion into the outside the property line, so...
Yeah.
All right, well, anyway. Any discussion on the waiver? Everybody have a chance to read it?
Yep.
Okay, everyone okay with it? Then is there a motion?
Yeah, I move that we accept the waiver and allow the waiver request and allow the 60-foot poles.
Second.
You know, now,
We have to do the waiver separately.
we have to do the waiver separate.
We just, didn't we just waive something that we didn't vote on?
No, we have to waive the, if we don't have the waiver, yeah, you don't. And it all sounded logical when I read it, and now I'm just wondering, did the letter tick off the points in the ordinance?
Will.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry, Joe. Will, does the waiver request hit the points in our ordinance that require the conditions to be met to be granted the waiver?
That's a good question, because I
I didn't check this afternoon. Tonight, one of those late things.
when did the waiver request come in with the application? Because I'm not sure we saw the waiver request.
Oh, I just got it, so I'm not sure. Well, I mean, I didn't just get it. I got it a day or two ago.
Yeah, I don't think I got that.
All right.
So I don't think I can answer your question.
Well, the reference
So
is
it's section-
300-10.6.
just to give you guys reference where the waivers are located for, I think, site plan.
Yeah, it's 30 TAC 8 Type 3.
You got it.
We have to deem this complete first.
Yes, we do. Thank you. I guess it. Let's just get this waiver thing. Now I don't even have a waiver. Where did the waiver go? Sandy, did you email the waiver or did you mail the waiver?
I know I emailed it to everybody. I believe that I mailed it. I think we had enough time to do that.
I do have a
Well,
copy.
you know.
Would it be helpful?
That would be very helpful.
Sure.
The organization here.
Thank you, Margot.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed those light things so much.
Those are on the second page.
All right, so let's see. Okay, Will, this waiver request is provided in response to review comments received July 2nd. For the above referenced site plan application, we are requesting a waiver from the Town of Raymond Performance Standard Section 30 TAC 10 TAC 6, which reads the maximum height. So we all know that. This project park proposes 2 tennis courts. We know that. This project proposes taller light poles that are designed to minimize adverse impacts on neighboring properties while maximizing usable time on the public courts. Using higher light poles allows for the lighting fixtures to cast direct light on the subject. Whereas shorting poles can produce undesirable glare and light pollution, please see the attached, yada, yada, yada. Cost, that's not an issue. That's it.
I mean, it sounds good to me.
Sounds good to you?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have pretty good backup with this
With the,
document from the
Yeah, they,
supplier, lighting supplier.
so
with
the,
that and the photometric plan, I think we're in good shape, with it showing the lighting and everything. So I think it's a good request.
so item A is the need for a waiver is based on unique circumstances relating to the specific site and development application, and these conditions would not expect to be encountered elsewhere. Yeah?
Yep.
We okay with that? All right. All right, so waiver's good. I guess as Greg pointed out, the first thing we do need to do is accept the application as complete. So is there a motion to accept the application?
Move to accept the application for the tennis courts at Sherry Gagnon Memorial Park, that the application is complete.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Oops, sorry.
Aye.
Okay, next is the waiver. I think the waiver is good to go. Do you want this back? Do you need this copy back?
You can have it if you want it, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a motion for the waiver? Anybody?
We move to
It already
grant the
made
waiver
that
on-
motion.
What's Andy?
Was that,
Ed had already made the motion to grant the waiver.
Oh,
was there a
you already did it.
But
Was
no
there a
one-
second?
No one second.
Is there a second? I'll second.
I seconded it, I
Oh,
thought.
Kevin seconds. Done.
Yes.
He's on first. All right. Is there any discussion on the waiver? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Kevin, it passes. Waiver done. All right. Now, Will, you did have some conditions, right, on this if we were to consider approving?
Well, I only had your standard condition.
Oh, the sunset clause?
Yeah. So I think you're all set with that. Yeah, unless you've got any other standards that I'm not aware of, since I'm not
Yep.
doing
Wayne,
this on a regular
Wayne, are you
basis.
there? Do you have any questions? Wayne?
You're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, I did have a question of going from the parking lot to the courts. Is there going to be new fencing, or are we using the existing?
There won't be any new fencing like alongside the paths or anything. The only new fencing will be 10-foot high black chain link fences that surround the whole court area.
The court.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those,
Yeah,
the existing fencing around the ball field will be demolished or taken down. Yep.
Okay. We just wanted to make sure, like, if we needed to use our UTV to get near the court, that we were able to do that. Other than that, we're good.
All right. The one time I remembered to talk to Wayne and he didn't have anything. All right. What's the board want to do? Is there... You're all, everybody happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with everything. Put it up for approval.
You want to bring them back next month just to talk about it?
I'm paying them back.
Yeah. Sandy, what's... No, I'm on. Is there a motion? Anyone want to tackle it?
I move to approve the application for the 2 tennis courts and 2 pickleball courts on the Sherry Gagnon Memorial Park, with the approval of the waiver for the height of the poles. And also, we will add, or the applicant should add to his plan the sunset clause and limits of expiration. Well, actually, yeah, that should be added onto the plan.
Yep.
So that was my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Kevin, discussion?
I'm good.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's passed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board.
You are quite welcome.
Reports.
So we'll prepare findings of fact on that. Is that the next step for us?
Who will do
Yes,
that?
Will, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Will.
Thank
you.
Okay. All right.
So all this easy.
I didn't think this one was going to be a hard night. Staff communications and updates.
You're working on signing the findings of fact for Camp Timanis. Excellent.
The only one left is Kevin.
Oh, Kevin will have to come in the office to hit it.
Will do.
Sandy, do we have any new applications?
I don't want to break your hearts, guys, but no, nothing new came in today.
You know what? Sounds like a lobster bake next meeting. And I don't know if this made it to the planning board or not. I did receive a copy of it. I'm guessing it's probably with the selectmen or the town, but there was a citizen's petition.
Oh, yes, thank you, Jim.
You want?
Yeah, no, go ahead, you can keep going.
The
Citizens
select
petition.
board voted on that last night to move it forward for special town meeting and
Yeah.
public hearing.
I couldn't hear.
That's okay, Tammy's just reiterating what you were going to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the citizen petition for the land use ordinance to eliminate,
You guys are young.
eliminate solar energy systems in the shoreland zone and make the ordinance prohibit the installation of commercial energy systems in the rural residential district and all of the shoreland districts. And they want to make that retroactive to 2023, July 1st, 2023. So there is a petition. I don't know where it goes from here. I don't know if it's, Sandy, did you say that went to the Board of Selectmen?
I can take it from there.
Oh, got it.
So the group on the solar project, they had a proposed, they wrote a proposed ordinance. Their lawyer that was here, they had like 511 signatures and brought it to the selectmen, requesting a special town meeting to vote on what Jim just said, the no solar projects in the residential.
Rural residential
district.
That's commercial only, obviously, right?
Yes, right. So the selectmen asked, as it would normally occur, the ordinance to come back to the planning board, where we would then decide whether or not to give it an up check, a down check, and send it back to the selectmen to schedule the meeting. There's two things that happen. One is not a single word can be changed on the petition that is submitted. It has to stay exactly the same. What I told the board, not speaking for the board, but I told the board that I thought it would not be possible for the planning board to receive this, vet it, decide whether or not there's implications that we would not like, or implications that that nobody would like, and then send it back with an approval, considering that when we can't change anything of it, and it has to go before the town anyway. So they are, though, looking to us to vote on whether or not we approve it, or whether or not we're just sending it back to the selectmen without comment. In other words, we're sending it back recommending that it be approved, or we're sending it back to the selectmen without comment. So before I go any further, that's the decision.
Can we recommend not to approve?
We could recommend not to approve, yes.
Recommend, not recommend, or...
Yeah, but even if whatever we would do, it still is going to it still goes to a special town hearing in August.
Which they scheduled last night.
It was scheduled last night, yeah.
August 13th.
Oh, Derek, you're really up on this stuff.
I think they're on the select board or something.
He was like a politician.
Yeah. So, that's, those are our choices as they're in every ordinance that we
In
review.
case you all want to have a look at the actual.
I don't like the retroactive regulations.
I'm not sure that's even legal.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all, the retroactive.
Right.
The irony is, it goes back to July 2023. We have no current applications.
Right. But it can't be changed. I mean, they actually, I'm sure they would probably be willing to change that to the current date,
Right.
but they're not allowed to change it
Right.
unless they go back and get all those signatures.
I think we've only have right now one solar farm that's still under its warranty, or not under its timeline.
Yep, we just
We just
extended
extended that one, yeah.
And I don't think it would, I don't know, it would not impact that, I don't think.
I don't
would it?
think so.
No, they're not in that.
Yep,
Basically, it'd be anything going forward from July 1st.
right.
Can the select board member speak?
Oh, should we let him speak?
I don't know. He's capable of it, I know that.
Probably, he's gonna jump up there anyway, isn't he?
He may offer some insight that's helpful.
Go ahead.
I was just, so what happened was, we asked that same question, why retroactive?
Right.
And what it was they were putting this in place, got the signatures and everything going while the application that they were trying to stop was in progress. Once they got those signatures and this was already out, they withdrew their application, but like you said, they can't change it, so they just left it like this to go town vote. So that's the only, they probably would, like you said, get rid of it and the retroactive, but they can't, now they'd have to start the whole thing all over again. They just decided not to.
We lose them again.
Well, and the other question I had for you,
Sure.
Bob, not to complicate this, was I know we had talked about maybe even going back in and looking at some of those buffers.
Yeah, and I think we still should.
Yeah.
Jim, I'm pretty sure once this is voted on, at that next town meeting that they're doing, it's going to end up coming back to you guys for next year's changes to see what else it affects, if anything, and get it all straightened out then.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like the cart in front of the horse.
That's happened before.
Yeah, I think, you know, that whole project was a timing thing, you know, that the applicant, for the butters. Thoughts?
Are we going to make a motion on this today? And
We have to make a motion on this today,
Is that, even though it's not on the agenda?
even though it's not on the agenda. Actually, it should be on the agenda.
No,
I
was just
think
curious
now
in
that
case
they've
of-
scheduled a public hearing and put it forward with their recommendation, I think it's kind of a moot point from you guys, but you can still do it if you want.
Well, we were asked to, so I think we probably should, even though I agree with you, Sandy. I think probably should we say the politically correct thing to do would be just to send it without our recommendation.
I agree with that.
Neutral on this.
Yeah,
Without recommendation?
without a recommendation.
Correct.
I agree.
Okay. Kevin?
I agree with that also.
All right. Jim, could you pass that back so I could just reference it again, please? I'll get it. So I move that we send the citizen petition for the land use ordinance amendment changes concerning the regulations on commercial solar energy systems to the select board without a recommendation. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second? Is that okay? Anyone feel okay? Kevin? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Kevin said yes, done.
So no meeting next month?
I guess not. No meeting next month, Sandy?
That's your call.
No applications. The only thing you'll have is we'll have, which you can come into the town, the Milers Woods, sign that plan once we get a few things on it.
Yeah, so we'll have to stop in.
You can just stop in the town and we'll let you guys know when it's ready.
Too early to start on ordinance stuff for next year?
I would suggest that in your extra time over the month of August, that we start preparing lists of things that you foresee you'd like to see looked at or changed or modified, things that have routinely popped up. You know, that's typically what we've done. I'm sure Chris has probably got some. I know you and I have talked about the solar. You talked about the photometrics tonight. Anything like that, any of you see that there's a issue that you'd like to bring up, let's get it out in September.
Okay.
And typically what we've done, I think, is we've had a workshop.
Right.
Just a couple half hour before the meeting, just to kind of get a list formulated. Because we really start digging into those around Christmas, December.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see and we'll also see at that point where we go with the ADU, because we didn't really, accessory dwelling unit. Hopefully we get some more information on that too.
Oh, you lost me on that one.
Well, the state LD 2003,
right.
we kind of kicked the can down the road. I don't know if we can kick it any further. So I think that's one that we hopefully get a little bit better guidance on from our attorney.
All right. Then we're up to item 7.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Lucky 7.
Aye.